missed again, and Whittaker nailed him again, and he missed again, and Whittaker nailed him again.
This is another testimony of if God is for you, who can be against you?
This could be the round of the century.
I was not supposed to win this. So now you guys are listening because we did win, and I can glorify God the way I want to glorify Him.
God bless Chelsea. I can't believe what I'm saying. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever been privileged to witness.
Welcome to another episode of 3D Boxing Podcast. We are here with the Texas boxing scene. We did so earlier on the other channel on 3D Boxing Blog. Here we're back with our second show of the day on the Texas boxing scene, and you guessed it. You guys can see what this episode is about. The up and down career of Omar Figueroa Jr. Pictured there. Before we get into it, please like and subscribe, share all forms of social media. 3D Boxing comes at you twice a day on either one of the two channels. This channel is important to us. If you can, please like, subscribe, share on all forms. 3D Boxing and Texas boxing scene. Everything we make goes to charity. It all goes for a good cause. It all goes to the Autism Community in Action, which is TACA. So anything we make, it all goes to autism research and recovery. But let's get into today's show. It's been a rough little run for Texas boxing fans. First, we lost. James Kirkland's going to retire, and he's always been a fan of ours. In Texas, we love James Kirkland, and he got knocked out by Montiel and around destroyed. And now Figueroa, who's one of my favorite fighters to watch, just from an action standpoint. Omar Figueroa, just come forward, throw 100 punches around, switch righty, lefty, back, forth. You don't know what he's doing, slipping shots, swarming. He was so much fun to watch. And early on in his career, he looked like he was the future. You go back all the way to 2013, he beat Abner Cotto. Then on Thurman Diaz, he beats Jerry Belmontes. Then he beats Daniel Estrada. Then he beats Ricky Burns. All right. Then he beats DeMarco. We're still in 2015. He takes a year and a half off, and in 2017 fights Guerrero. Takes another year and a half off, and fights John Molina. Okay? After the Robert Guerrero fight, there was clearly a decline. The Robert Guerrero fight was fire. He knocked him out halfway through the third round. Unbelievable fight, incredible fight. He knocked him down like 6 times. He was on fire. He was incredible. It looked like he was just starting to hit his prime. That fight was in Long Island, New York, at the Nassau Coliseum. It's hard to believe that fight was 4 years ago. So he'd been like 27 or 28. Like, it looked like he was just hitting his prime. And then he took a year and a half off. He was supposed to have a fight with Adrian Broner. And things started to fall apart for him. He got a DWI. From what I understand, whenever he's in Weslaco, whenever he's in the Rio Grande Valley, he's in a group of partying and not doing what he's supposed to. He likes to party, he likes to drink, he likes the women, and it got in the way of his training. Boxing was something he was born and bred to do. He's done it since he's 4 or 5 years old. It was, he didn't choose it, it chose him kind of thing. And I think he needed a break from it all. I really do. I think it started to overwhelm him. And he took a year and a half off again. He beat DeMarco, took a year and a half off, fought Guerrero. Looked good as ever, probably the best performance of his career. Then he takes another year and a half off. And he beats John Molina in a really fun fight. But John Molina is someone he should take apart. John Molina is someone he should destroy. But his first, it was so you go from 2015 to 2019, right? DeMarco was December of 2015, and Molina was February of 2019. So 3 years plus, he fought one time against Robert Guerrero. Fought 3 rounds. I mean, so I wrote that off to ring rust. But you can see there was a decline. Then he fights Ugas. He goes in. He says he's going to train himself. There's problems in the camp. He comes in and Ugas destroys him. Boy, that hurt. It's a massive setback. COVID hits. I talked to him about a month after that at his brother's fight in the Valley. He says he's going to come back. He can fight at 40 or 47. He's staying in shape. He doesn't get a fight before COVID hits. And he fights Abel Ramos. Takes us to Saturday. So it's another almost 2 years out of the ring. And it was awful. He got off to a good start. The first 2-3 rounds, he looked good. And then you see the movement. The head movement just isn't the same. It doesn't look like he's got the same spark on his punch. Even the punch output's way down. And he's a tough guy. But he was just getting beat up all over the ring by Abel Ramos, who looks to be having a second wind here, like a real good run. It was just sad what we saw happen to him. And you guys know that I'm a Texas flag waver. I wear Texas on my sleeve, and he was a Texas fighter. He had that Mexican style. He came forward. I always say, people will melt under that Texas heat. And, Figueroa was one of my favorite fighters. And now, given how bad he looked in that performance, I don't know. I never thought he was a welterweight. He doesn't like to cut weight. He doesn't like to make weight. I don't know where he goes from here. I don't know if his career's over. It would be absolutely tragic if it was, because he's still young. Again, he hasn't fought much in 5 years. But a decision needs to be made. If he's going to keep giving performances like this at 47, hang it up. If you want to come down to 40, get yourself right and make one more run at it, I think that's your best bet. But it was just sad to see that. Joel Diaz made him take Joel Diaz took the scale to the airport when he picked him up to train, and he said either if you come in over 155, I'm not training you. He came in at 153. And this was rough to see. This was rough. It's and I don't know where he goes from here. I think 140 is the best bet. I think we can get him back down to 140 and test him out there. See, I'd still like to see him fight Broner. I mean, I'm still into that fight. You guys want to see that? I'd make that fight tomorrow. But it's crushing to see what happened to Panterita. Let me know what you guys. I got a question for any of the Spanish speakers. If Pantera means panther, what does Panterita mean? But again, please like and subscribe, share in all forms of social media. 3D Boxing blog comes at you twice a day, every day. This is the Texas Boxing Scene channel. All of the proceeds go to Taka, the Autistic Community in Action. Please, please, please like and subscribe to this channel. Please help get this name out there. Anything we make from this channel is going to go to that charity. So it's near and dear to our heart. Please like and subscribe, guys. I really appreciate it. Hope all is well. From Texas to the world, thank you, and God bless.